Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a first impression for you on the new Maybelline foundation, which is the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Foundation, and it's this blue one here. And what I really like about this, first off, is that it has a pump, and that was one of the things that I really liked from the very beginning, from when I saw it. A lot of foundations don't have one, and I just wanted to tell you that it has one. So the color that I got is the Classic Ivory, and even though this is usually the color that I get, I feel like it looks a little bit darker than most Classic Ivory colors, but that's just the tone that I am, and I tried to look for a lighter one, but I think this one was the lightest one. At least it was at the Sephora that I went to. This one was the lightest color that they had. So I am barely gonna open it because I haven't even used it, because it is a first impression, and I took off the little plastic there. So this foundation does have SPF 15, which is one of the things that caught my attention because it's summer right now. And one of the good things about putting on foundation and not needing to put on sunscreen is that your foundation has a little bit of it. So that's always good. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump this out, and I'm gonna be trying the foundation with my beauty blender on one side, and I'll also be using this fluffy foundation brush for the other side, just so we can see the difference between the two. So first I'm just gonna pump this out. I'm gonna kind of shake it a little bit before I do though, but I'm gonna do one pump just so you can see how much comes out and you can see how thick it is, but we're gonna check right now. Okay, so I gotta say it's pretty thick, and I kind of did like 1.5 because it wouldn't come out because it's brand new. So I kind of did like 1.5 of a pump. That's how much came out. I think it's a pretty good amount for your face, and we're gonna see how this works. So I am going to be using a pore filling primer because I feel like lately my pores are a little bit more visible. So I do want to use the Porefessional, and I'm just going to apply that on the areas where I feel like my pores are more visible, which is around my nose. And that's the only place that I'm going to apply it. Now, I would probably prefer to not apply anything just so you guys can see the foundation without a primer. But this isn't really I'm not putting it on to like make my foundation stay. I'm pretty much putting it on this area only, so that way my pores are filled or are blurred out and they're not too visible. So I'm only going to apply it on this area, and then we're going to get started with, let's see, we should do I'm going to go ahead and do the beauty blender first, and I'm going to do that on this side, and I'm just going to use whatever I have on my hand and just tap it like that, and then just start putting little dots all over and blending it out. So the foundation, I mean, so far, I don't even know, I didn't even tell you if it was full coverage. It just says skin transforming foundation, but it doesn't say if it's a full coverage, medium coverage, or anything like that. I wish I could tell you guys, but it doesn't say that. Although from the looks of it, to me, it seems more of a medium foundation, or medium coverage foundation. Probably medium to full, because it is covering up all the redness that I have. So I actually really like the way that looks. Okay, so I went ahead and I put those little dots there from the beauty blender, or, you know, from here. But you can see that I do have a little bit, you know, just discoloration in my skin. It's not all one solid color. And so you're going to be able to see how evenly the foundation applies. It just looks really nice. I really like it. I don't feel like it's cakey. Maybe it's because I'm using a damp beauty blender, but either way, it doesn't feel like it's cakey. So we're going to see the difference between the beauty blender and the brush, which is why I wanted to do both. That is this side with the beauty blender, and I really like the way that it feels. I don't feel like I'm wearing foundation. I mean, of course I am because I can see it, but I don't feel like it's caked on. I don't feel like it's dry, and I just don't feel like there's a heavy layer on my skin. I don't feel that at all. Now I'm gonna try it with the brush. I'm gonna try it with the brush, and I needed one pump for one side of my face, so now I'm gonna do another pump for the brush because it wasn't enough. So now we're gonna see the way that it feels with the brush, and this is how much came out with one pump. So now we know for sure how much comes out. There, you can see that. And I'm just going to do the same thing as I did with my beauty blender and just apply it in different areas and then start buffing it out or blending it out. So with the brush, just from the first application that I'm doing right now, to me, it does not look the same at all as this side. I don't know, maybe it's my brush, but I feel like this is a pretty dense, fluffy brush. It's not hard, it's pretty good quality. So I don't feel like it's the brush, because I do like the brush with other foundations. I just don't feel like I like it with this one. I'm gonna keep going and just to see how it works. Okay, so probably you can't tell because you're not this close up as I am to my mirror, and I have the side to where I can see very, very close up. But I can tell you right now that with the brush, I do not like the way that it feels, and I don't like the way that it looks. At first, it was just very, very streaky. Of course, once I started to buff it out, it smooths out a little bit, but I feel like it's more visible than it is on this side. On this side, I still feel like I can't feel the foundation, and on this one, I can definitely feel that the foundation is there, and I feel like you can see it too. So this is, I don't know, this is the difference. I really like this side better than that side. I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out with my beauty blender before it like sets on my skin. And since it's still, you know, damp, I just want to smooth it out. So I'm gonna do that, because next I'm going to show you guys the Superstay Better Skin Concealer, which is what I'm going to use kind of as a highlight. This is in the color Light, so it's the lightest one that I saw, and that's the one that I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this side of my face. So that just feels so much better to me. It was just feeling caked on. So I don't recommend the foundation with the brush. Of course, I'm going to continue to use it in the future just to see if it'll work out better for me. But honestly, I feel like the Beauty Blender works a lot better. So now I'm just going to do the concealer, and I'm going to see how light it is first, because it does say in the color Light, but it kind of looks the same as the foundation. So I'm not sure if this is going to work as a correcting concealer or a highlighting concealer. But so my camera stopped filming, but I was telling you guys that they look very similar to each other. Like the color just looks almost exact. So I don't know if this is going to work as a concealing concealer or as a highlighting concealer, but we're going to find out right now. And that's just what I'm going to do next. So I'm just going to apply this first just on the bottom just to see if it's going to conceal, and then if it's light enough, I'll do the triangle. So we're gonna see. Oh no, it's definitely very light. Oh my god, but it feels so creamy, and it looks very thick. And like I said, I got it in the color Light, so if you're looking for something to highlight, I think this is a great concealer. I'm not gonna put too much because obviously it's very thick. I want to blend it out just to see how much it creases. I'm also gonna put it right here and just on the highlighting areas, because it's definitely good for highlighting. Do you see that? And do you see how nice and thick it is? So that way it covers up really good under your eyes and just highlights. I don't know, it looks really nice. The first little swatch that I did on my face, or the first time that I swatched it, I could tell right away that it's a full coverage concealer, and I just think it's great so far. We're gonna blend it out and see how it looks. Okay, so now I blended the middle part. Now I'm just going to do the under eyes, and we're going to see how that looks. Wow, you guys, I really like this concealer. I should have left this one undone so you can really see it. But it does not, even though it's very thick and it seems thick and it's very, like, I guess I would say pigmented, because it really covers up. Oh my god, I should have left this one undone, but if you can see the bottom of my eye, you can still see a little bit of the dark. It's just a little bit dark. I don't really have dark under eyes, but I do have a little bit of like purpley red. So you can kind of see that right here, but look at the difference. Like, it is so nice and full coverage. I really like it, and I know it's just a very light color, so it's kind of highlighting at the same time, but like I said, I don't have very dark under eye circles, so it's fine for me to use a very light concealer to kind of do both, to conceal and highlight. And this I love. I'm so excited about it. I'm so glad that I picked it up. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this one out. Oh, you guys, I am so impressed with this concealer. Okay, so now I'm completely done doing the rest of my makeup, and I wanted to come on here just to tell you guys my thoughts on each of the products. Now, I know it's just a first impression, so I can't tell you like in detail how long it lasts or how long it'll last you throughout the day, but with the first impression, I would say that I love the foundation with my beauty blender way more than with the brush. I think I always go for my beauty blender, but there are some foundations that I can wear with my brush that I don't mind, kind of like my Fit Me foundation by Maybelline. I know that there are some foundations that if I don't feel like damping up my beauty blender or using it at all, I just grab my brush, or if I'm in a hurry, I usually use my brush and I use that foundation because I know it works together and it's fine. But with this foundation, I have to say that I will only use it with my beauty blender as of now. Like those are my thoughts right now, that only with the beauty blender, just because I feel like with the brush it was too streaky, and not only that, but it looked kind of cakey on me and I could really feel it. Once I used the beauty blender to blend it out, it felt just like this side. So for this foundation, I gotta say I love it with the beauty blender. If you like it with the brush, let me know, that way I know maybe what brush you're using, and maybe it's just my brush, but so far I really like it. Maybe I should try it with like a stippling brush, that way I can see the difference and maybe it'll look a little bit less caked on or less thick. And like I said, I really like it. My overall thoughts are that I really like it. As for the coverage of the foundation, I feel like it's a medium to full, and right now I feel like maybe it's a medium coverage. I'm looking at myself. No, it's definitely a full coverage. I was gonna say medium because I used the beauty blender, but I don't feel like I don't feel like it's a medium coverage. I feel like it's a full coverage for me, and it covers up really nicely. It evens out my skin tone, and to me a medium coverage is still showing your skin a little bit. Kind of like if you have some blemishes, they'll still show up unless you apply a second layer. And I just feel like with this foundation, it will be more of a full coverage foundation. And I don't think it's light at all. And I like the thickness of it, the way that it feels. I don't feel like it feels too watery or anything. And I just really like the feeling of it on my skin. So I gotta say that this Superstay Better Skin does make my skin look better. And I just really, really like it. As for the concealer, you guys, oh my god, if you are thinking about, you know, maybe I don't want to try the foundation because I have too many or whatever it is, at least try the concealer. And by the way, I'll have the prices and the links below just if you want to check them out. I got mine at Ulta, so I'll probably put a link like from Ulta, but you can see the price and the colors that they have. But this one is in the color light, and so far I think this is the lightest color that they have, which is perfect because as you saw, it was very, very light on my skin. So I actually wouldn't mind picking it up in a darker tone just so I can use it as concealer, because I saw how amazingly good it was on my skin and how nicely it blended out on my skin. And I gotta say that not only do I like the coverage of it, but I like the way that it feels, which is something very important to me, because I think it's important to all of us, because we all hate the feeling of the concealer feeling thick on your under eye area, and you just feel like it's showing, like it's so obvious that you have concealer on your under eyes. And I don't feel like this one makes me feel like that at all. I feel like it feels light, but yet it is a full coverage concealer. Now, if you want to pick this up in your color, I think it would be great to conceal. And this does say that it is a concealer and corrector, because it says concealer plus corrector, but I think it's a great concealer if you're looking for something to highlight your under eye areas and maybe your nose, or you know, your cupid's bow or your chin area, just all the highlighting areas, if you know what I'm talking about. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this review, or this first impression and slash review. I have to say that I give both of these a thumbs up. I really, really like them, and I would really recommend you try them out. Of course, you know that you can return drugstore products as well if you don't like them, but if you want to choose which one you want to get, if you think you already have enough foundations and you don't need another one, I would really recommend to at least try the concealer. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in my next one. Bye!